my dungeon.
Welcome to Cauldron's Krypt. I'm your host, Master Cauldron. If you're new to the show, I use my 24, almost 25 years of BDSM experience and 20 years working in the psychology field to dispel myths, get rid of stereotypes, and answer your questions about BDSM. You can call in at 865-268-4005 to leave your questions or visit the Krypt at cauldronskrypt.com. In this episode of the Krypt, we're talking to a couple of amazing vendors I met at DomCon New Orleans. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the Manscaped Lawn Mower 2.0, and after the closing, stick around for another one of my rants. What's it going to be about this time? So let's hit those rules to love by and jump into the interviews. Rule number 1, safe, sane, consensual, and informed. Rule number 2, kinky. That's KNKI and comes from the Kinky app available on all platforms. Not a sponsor, but it does stand for knowledge, no intolerance, kindness, and integrity. And rule number 3, the quote from Mr. Paul Young, submission is not about authority and it's not about obedience. It is all about relationships of love and respect.
And it is Saturday at DomCon New Orleans. I am here with Jessica from Lorn Lingerie. Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
We're doing well. And yourself?
Pretty good.
You make some amazing pieces of artistic fashion wear, from collars to bras. What all would you define as your line?
I would say it's very feminine, fantasy-inspired leather harnesses, erotic lingerie, and gothic accessories. So a lot of it stems from my own background as a bit of a nerdy person who played Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts growing up. I think you could see that in my designs a little bit. There's much more of that fantasy element in there.
Absolutely. And as I commented earlier, this is some of the most beautiful and artistic fetish wear that I've seen, and I have seen a lot. There's a lot here, and you definitely take first place for the artistic design. When I come up a few minutes ago, you were drawing on your iPad here. Do you have a background in art, or is it just something that is an intense hobby for you?
No, I have an extensive background in art. When I was younger, in high school and middle school, I started with private art lessons. My parents noticed right away that it was something that I was interested in. So, yeah, I had private art lessons. I did a lot of anime drawing and manga drawing when I was young, a lot of cartoon drawing, and then I did end up going to an art school for fashion design, just because I like to do crafts and hobbies and just lots of hands-on things. So yeah, I've spent a lot of money in art education.
Yeah, it definitely shows. What is your website?
LoveLornLingerie.com.
LoveLornLingerie.com. Okay, the big question and my listeners know that I only talk to the people who really inspire me. So they're going to know to check you out already by that. But the one big question that they always want to know is, okay, the vendor is awesome, but are they kinky?
Yes, I am, actually. I am. Unfortunately, trying to start your own business means I haven't had a lot of time to really do much of that on my personal side, but I am kinky. And one day I will explore it more.
Top or bottom?
I don't know yet, to be honest. I think I could go both ways.
Switchy.
Yeah.
About 80% of people are honestly switchy, so we like switchies. All right. Well, what is the one thing that you would want people to know about your products, about what you do?
I don't know. I guess it's more of just it's a lot of passion, it's a lot of creativity and just beauty that I like to put out into the world. I'd like to see more of beauty and more of, feminism, equality, and maybe it's weird coming from something like this, but I feel like BDSM especially is like, there's a lot of power play, but there's a lot of just sharing and consensuality and communication, which I think it just needs to be more out in the wider world.
Absolutely. That's the thing that drew me to the lifestyle, is the open communication. And the just everything is beautiful. But this does definitely peak in the beauty. Now, is a lot of your stuff that I'm looking at now, the bras and things, would be more for the feminine. Well, I don't want to say feminine, but they are bras. So more of the female associating, gender associating. Do you have any pieces that are more designed toward the sexy male?
Actually, yes. I just started a small men's line, and I'm looking to expand it more. And I'm kind of bringing along the same aesthetic quality as my more feminine pieces. So a lot of like interesting hardware, a lot of ornamentation, a lot more gold hardware, just because I feel like masculine clothing often comes off as very plain and like simple. And I think we could use just a little bit more excitement there.
Couldn't agree with you more. All right. So again, that is
Lorn Lingerie.
And the website?
LornLingerie.com.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
So I have to tell you something that I saw. I was on YouTube and saw a commercial for the Manscaped Lawn Mower 2.0. And I thought it was freaking hilarious. So the commercial was. So I contacted their marketing department and had them send me one. They agreed to for the purpose of review. And they also gave me a coupon code to use in case you want one, which is Cauldron20, Kuldrin20, no spaces. I got the personal trimmer. It comes with a couple of guards, a pair of the most comfortable boxer briefs I've ever worn, some ball deodorant, and some crop reviver ball toner. I'm not kidding. These are things. A nice little travel bag, and then a funny little newspaper. And it also come with a script. If enough of you order, then they're going to donate to the show. And of course, I'll put a little commercial in the show. You know that I do not promote things that I don't like, that I haven't tried. This thing is freaking awesome. So again, they sent me this for free, but if I didn't like it, I was under no obligation to actually use their promo material. But it's the best trimmer that I've ever used, and I've used all of them. It's 2020, and you know what that means. New year, new me, new balls. Men, listen up. Hairy bushes are so 2019. If you're going to pick up any New Year's resolution this year, let it be to take care of your junk. Manscaped is making it easy with their grooming products. One of the worst things that a friend of mine, wink, wink, has ever had to do is put a little piece of tissue on his sack instead of his face after a terrible nick. Yeah. With the Manscaped Lawnmower 2.0, this isn't going to happen. That's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. Their Lawnmower 2.0 has proprietary skin-safe technology, so this trimmer won't nick or snag your nuts. Manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past. And don't use the same trimmer on your face as you're using on your balls. That's just dirty. Manscaped also has the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest parts of your body? Get 20% off and free shipping with the code Cauldron20, Kuldrin20, no space, at manscaped.com. Start the new year off right by using the best tools for the job. Your balls will thank you. Yes, I'm extremely serious about this. You need to check this out. You know for a fact, I don't pitch a product that I don't believe in. And this thing's awesome. I'm not supposed to say it, but I'm going to. It's great for women. Their gimmick is pushing it toward men, but it's great for women as well, because I know one that's tried it out. One really cool thing is the ceramic blades. You can just pop them off. You can sign up for where they send you a new one every 3 months, and it's not very expensive at all. but you just pop it off, pop the new one on, and you're good for another 3 months. And it really helps cut down on bacteria and these kind of things. And I don't know how you would nick yourself with it, but if somehow you were able to, you wouldn't have to worry about all that buildup and bacterial worry because you get to change these out. Oh, another thing, completely waterproof. I use the same in the shower. So yeah, give it a go. Again, Manscaped, MANSCAPED.com. Use Cauldron20 as your discount code for 20% off and free shipping. The links will be in the show notes.
It is Saturday at DomCon New Orleans. I'm here with Reggie. He is from Valkyrie Designs. Some of the absolute most beautiful and well-made chainmail fetish wear that I've ever seen. How did you get into this business?
Well, thank you. It's funny, when I became poly, our first partner that my wife and I brought into us had used to take exchange students to a jewelry making class. And she had gone to a chainmail making class, and I'm an old D&D kid from the 80s, so I'm like, chainmail, right on. So she taught me the first weave, and I just kind of went crazy with it from there. And 12 years later, here we are with a full line of chainmail lingerie and costuming and sexiness.
Now, obviously, being a cisgender male, the first thing that I look at, because I want to picture my ladies in it, is the bras and the panties made of chainmail. Do you also do menswear?
We do menswear as well. It's just a much smaller part of the business because I also like to make the ladies look pretty.
Absolutely. Now, one of the big questions that everybody wants to know about vendors, because as you know, we Kinksters like to support Kinksters. So
absolutely.
Are you also kinky?
Oh, absolutely. Been in the lifestyle 12 years.
I know you mentioned being poly, but do you stick more to the poly sexual side of things, or is it also a top-bottom switch DS relationship? What do we have going on?
It's funny. When we first started into the lifestyle, we jumped into BDSM, polyamory, and power exchange all at the same time, head first.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's the thing that I recommend people not do, but it seems to work out.
Occasionally. There are some bumps and bruises along the way.
Yeah, a lot of them. So back to the business, because that is why I'm here, though I do like to dive a little personal, just to so people get a feel for you.
Absolutely.
And ladies, gentlemen, and others, he is phenomenal. You know me and whipping stripes, and when she said, "Hey, you got to talk to Reggie," I'm on it. So, what is it about the chainmail? Do you wear it yourself? I see you have a necklace on. Do you take some of your menswear? Do you sport that yourself?
I do. We have a gladiator piece that we made. If you've seen Spartacus, yes. I made his armor out of chainmail. The half sleeve and the body harness. And I like to wear that around, it shows just, kind of look good myself.
Now, is that a product that I could get on your website?
Absolutely.
What would be a price for that? Are these considered custom pieces, or?
That is one of our more standard pieces. It'll be custom on how big your bicep is. Now, I make all of mine with aluminum and rubber, so they stretch with your body. Oh. So they're much more comfortable than traditional chainmail, and they pinch a lot less. Nice. So they're very soft against the skin, and they take the scratch and pinch out of it. The half-sleeve gladiator piece is $300.
That is not bad, because the craftsmanship that you have here, Krypter, you have to go to his website, which is
ValkyrieDesignLLC.com,
and check out the quality. You can't feel it, but I have actually slipped into the booth and touched a few of these pieces, and I'm not really one for becoming aroused by the feel of metal. But holy crap, I may have discovered a new kink at DomCon New Orleans.
Fantastic.
What is the one thing that you really want people to know about the passion that you put in, about your business? If you could say one thing that it means to you, what would it be?
It's making people feel good about themselves by making them able to wear sexy things. With all of our clothing is made with rubber in it, so it's very size friendly. They're all laced in the back, so again, they're very size friendly. So they're great for any body type, and that's what I like to do, is make people feel good about themselves.
And you can see it in him. And I will, of course, have all the links in the show notes so that you can get a feel for it. I highly recommend it. I only promote what I truly believe in and the people that I believe in. And this is someone that the passion has been talked about to me from several references. So check it out. You will not be disappointed. Reggie, have a wonderful day. I hope things are going well for you here at New Orleans.
Thank you, Cauldron. It's been a pleasure.
And that's going to do it for the vendor interviews. Don't forget, that is Manscaped Lawn Mower 2.0. Use Cauldron 20 for a 20% discount. And again, I'm not kidding. That thing was freaking awesome. I will definitely continue to use it, even if I have to pay for the replacement blades myself. Some more people to send a special shout out to: LilyxChaosx, pro producer. Also, new pro producer, Freedom Hills. This is an amazing group of people and a phenomenal play space. I'm not going to talk about it too much just yet because I'm hoping to have them on the show and give their story and talk about their play space, but it's great. The senior producers: Matt, Roxiebear, ThatPlace in Oklahoma City, which is another dungeon; xEmeraldxWolfx, JayKay, SirMutualRespect, Master Gabriel, babyloveandSir, Theo D123, and Sir Pent. Pro producers: Kane Sin, Zine, Alexandria, Haley, KJ, Daddy Steve, and Ducky Monroe. Welcome aboard. Junior producers: my OG producer, the first, K2SO. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Also, Buffalo Dom 84, Morgana 13, Not the Daddy, and Jeremiah. Whether it's $100 or $1, thank you so much. All of it adds up and is what keeps the show going. I do appreciate it. If you'd like to become one of the show producers, the link is in the show notes. You can go to cauldronscrypt.com/support. Other vendors to check out: bdsmcontracts.org. Use coupon code Cauldron20 there for a 20% discount on all purchases. whippingstripes.com and torridtimber.com. All of my contact information is in the show notes. Stay tuned for the rant. This has been Master Cauldron, Jessica, owner of Love Lorn Lingerie, and Reggie, owner of Valkyrie Designs LLC, for cauldronscrypt.com. Unearth the truth. Hello again. So, I don't know why I have to start every rant out moving the microphone, because I was just talking on it, recording the intro and the outro for this episode. So something come to mind today. And, okay, so my thing with not editing, I can tell you right now, I'm about to remove about 5 minutes of silence where I just had to get up from spilling some water. Okay, so to go back to what I was saying, and what I was thinking about today, is assumed pressure versus actual pressure. Now, I'm not talking about pressure of something pushing against you, the pressures of impact play, not talking about any of these things. What I am referring to are the pressures in life that we feel. Now your interest may be piqued, or maybe you already knew where I was going with that. I don't think it's that difficult to figure out. Anyway, and I'm not all down and out with this. I am really tired, which kind of brings me into this, because somebody had texted me and asked me when the episode was going to be published. And if it was just someone, any person, any listener, it wouldn't have been a thing. I would have just assumed that, okay, they are excited about the show. They're just wanting to hear a new episode, right? Okay. And if that gave me pressure, then that would be actual pressure, because that would be what they wanted. However, if you throw something else into the mix, like money, then you don't really know. So there becomes this assumed pressure of, okay, they're paying me, maybe a Patreon supporter or something like that. And now all of a sudden you feel this assumed pressure of, oh God, they've paid me money. I haven't put an episode out in a couple of weeks. And the reason that they're asking me is because they're about to, drop their Patreon membership or whatever. And then I have to remember, you know what? Most of my patrons have been around for quite a while, and they know that I put an episode out when it's ready. That I like to keep to a weekly schedule when I have a bunch of interviews prepared, and I'll definitely do that because it's a way that I prefer to do it, because I like knowing that I'm part of your routine. If I release an episode every Monday, then on Monday or Tuesday, whichever day of the week that you prefer, that's when you're going to listen. But I assumed these different things. Did I flat out ask if that was the case? No, not going to do that. Not my style. Instead, I'm just going to take a breath and not worry about it. I had scheduled tonight to do this for the vendor episode. I know I'm working on a couple of other things, a Fear Play episode and the Quid Prid Quo. Quid Prid. Wow. I am tired. Jesus. Anyway, so where does this come into play with other things? Well, in a DS relationship, a master-slave relationship, it's the same thing. Now, I don't want to go all stereotypical and, slaves are all about pleasing people and blah, blah, because you have brats who a true brat is also about pleasing people. They just have a certain way of going about getting what they want to be able to please them. So where do we go? We'll take Mayfair for an example. Now, she is well educated in the art of assumption. Isn't that such a nice way of saying it? So this assumption of hers always points to the negative. It's how she was raised. That's the way it goes. So if I say something or do something that is not like how I always say or do it, then chances are it's going to have a negative connotation. And she is going to assume that I'm putting pressure on her. So she will be feeling assumed pressure. Stress is another word for it. To be able to do something, to complete something, if I am laying out tasks and saying, okay, these 5 things are going to be done, immediately there is an assumption that they all need to be done yesterday. And I may have one of them for tomorrow, one of them for 2 days after that, and another one for next month or next year, as the assignment dates. So jumping to conclusions. It's all part of managing expectations, managing stress, and making us healthier. So how do we do that? Well, when these things happen, first we have to recognize it. Step one in AA and NA, that's Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, for those that are not familiar with those programs. Step one is admitting that we have this problem, and everybody has this problem from time to time. For some people, it is a lifelong struggle with this. Other people, it just happens occasionally. But whether you're on the left or the right side of the slash, it does not matter unless you are an absolute complete sociopath or narcissist. So we recognize that this is happening and we fight against it. And by fight against it, if we have to, we say out loud, we are assuming. I am assuming this. I do not know. Therefore, I can accept what it is at face value, or I can ask questions or dig deeper or do research. It's pretty much the only two options there. Or, well, there is a third, and that's the don't give a whip crack and just be carefree about it all. But even those people, they experience stress. They experience this assumed pressure. So, yeah, that's the first part of the rant. And that leads into communication. To go back to the example that I used with Mayfair on the tasks. If I've given her, say, those 5 tasks, I also need to be quick to communicate when those tasks are going to be completed or when it will be expected for those to be completed. Wash the dishes. That's not communication. That's barking an order. Well, sir, do you want those dishes washed in the dishwasher? Do you want those dishes washed by hand? Do you want me to tongue wash them? And when does that need to be done? Hello, communicate. Some people want it completely broken down step by step, and this all depends on what your dynamic is. I get that. But you need to communicate about communicating. That is one of the things that people so often forget to do. Like, okay, we need more communication in this relationship. And make no mistake, it's a relationship. All right, so we've decided we need more communication, but about what? My God, that's one of the biggest things that I talk to people about. Well, how do you get them to communicate? Well, you have to be willing to do it yourself first. Are you willing to ask the hard questions? Are you open to hear the hard answers? Are you open to give the honest and open responses and answers yourself? But before it gets to that, what about, okay, when you give me a task, how far are you going to go with the directions? Is there a standard to use the dishes? Well, with the lights on, by hand, whatever the directions for that may be. It's people want to take slave training or submissive training very seriously at times and get into all these like oral training and anal training and all these very sexual specific things. But when it comes to the day to day, which is where you'll spend 97% of your time or better, you don't do that. You leave it out. You forget about it. And these are the things that are going to make or break the dynamic. I can't stress that enough. Now, why do I sound bitter? Because I am. Because I'm sitting here thinking about former and current relationships and seeing exactly where all of them have gone wrong, where things are going wrong, and where I need to push them so that they go correctly, so that they don't become past relationships. I hope you're thinking about this too. In fact, unless you're driving, do me a favor. Close your eyes. Yeah, I know. It's one of those, but I'm serious. Close your eyes with me. Picture that person that you're in that relationship with. And it doesn't matter. It can be any type of relationship. A friend, family member, a lover, a master, a slave, a dominant, you're submissive, you're your owner, your property, brother, sister, leather family. Pick one person. Does not matter the relationship. Really think about them to the point where you're picturing them. And think about the communication that you have with them. Is there conflict and strife because of constant misunderstandings that we want to call personality conflicts? Well, our personalities just don't match up. Or is there a lot of laughter and comedy and happiness? Or love and respect and communication? Think about issues and problems that you've had with that person and the breakdown, and try to take yourself out of the equation and see it from the outside. It's not you versus them in this conflict. It's a TV show or a movie where you're watching two people have these issues. Where did the communication break down? And not them, you. What could you have done better to communicate your wants, needs, desires, your point of view, what you're feeling to yourself in a more honest way? I didn't go quite the direction that you thought I was going to go. You thought I was going to say, communicate them to that other person. But no, we have to be able to experience these things internally first before we can expect someone else to understand. Common sense, right? The only thing is in the moment when hormones are involved, whether they're happy hormones, horny hormones, angry hormones. Doesn't matter. When there's hormones involved, common sense typically doesn't exist. So, if you've opened your eyes, close them again. Picture this person again. We'll go with the same person and that same conflict. Hopefully this is a conflict that's been resolved. Maybe it wasn't. But what were you doing to understand them? One of my favorite quotes is strive to understand before being understood. Conflict Resolution 101. Were you too wrapped up in what you were feeling and how you were wronged to be able to stop and see it from their point of view? I know there's been many times that I was. I challenge you, if you've had your eyes closed, thank you very much. If not, shame on you for not playing along. Unless you were driving, then I get it. Anyway, I challenge you. If this is a matter that's long been closed and resolved, leave it there unless you've had some major epiphany. But if this is an issue that wasn't resolved, is it time? Now, yes, this is a BDSM 101 podcast, and I'm talking about conflict resolution and relationships with possibly family members or coworkers or whatever. But if we cannot maintain healthy relationships, if we don't know healthy boundaries, both internally and externally, then how in the hell do you expect to have a healthy relationship? It takes two healthy people to have a healthy relationship. And I've seen two healthy people come together and create massive amounts of chaos as well. So, yeah, there's that too. But communicate. All right. Thank you for playing along. I am going to go ahead and end this. It wasn't much of a rant so much as it was you journeying along with me as I go through some introspective I don't know what the word would be. Introspective, ballistic journey, I guess. Ballistic in that my mind was being shot with memories like crazy of past relationships and interesting thought processes. So anyway, probably not one of my finest of episodes. I hope you've gotten something out of it. I'm going to jump off here, get this thing rendered to an MP3 so I can upload it, and then you can download it. If you're listening, then you've already done that. And I'll continue to work on the quid pro quo. Hey, I said it right that time. Quid pro quo DS relationships. And work on those questions for Sort Out the Kinks and talking about fear play. Again, if anybody has any of those, any questions about that they'd like me to ask her or that they would like to ask us, and she and I have played 3 times now with fear play. please feel free to email those to me. mastercauldron@gmail.com will work fine. And with that said, I'm out of here.